Disclaimer. It is important to note that the information presented in this video is based on theories and speculations surrounding the Roswell UFO crash. While some evidence has been presented, there is no conclusive proof of extraterrestrial involvement in the incident. The purpose of this video is to explore the various theories and perspectives surrounding the event and to encourage critical thinking and discussion. The Roswell UFO crash is one of the most famous and controversial events in modern history. In 1947, something crashed near Roswell, New Mexico, and the United States military claimed it was a weather balloon. However, many people believe that the object was actually an extraterrestrial spacecraft, and that the government has been covering up the truth ever since. In this video, we will explore the details of the Roswell crash, the theories surrounding the incident, and the ongoing debate over what really happened. The Roswell crash involved two alien crafts. The first one was found intact by an archaeology team. On July 5, 1947, southwest of Corona, New Mexico. The remnants were brought to the Roswell Army Air Force Base, where the military took control of the information. The second crash site, another downed craft, was discovered almost completely intact outside of Detil, New Mexico by two ranchers in August 1949. 4 dead aliens were found at the Corona site and 6 at the Detil site. 1 alien survived the Corona crash and was taken to Los Alamos, becoming known as EB-1. The term EB stands for extraterrestrial biological entity. EB-1 informed scientists that he was from a planet in the constellation Zeta Reticuli. EB-1 suffered minor injuries but quickly recovered. He was a mechanic and communicated with Army personnel through pictures. He was placed in an isolation room at Roswell Army Airfield and later transferred to Kirtland Field. During his time there, EB-1 worked with military linguists who used photographs and eventually developed symbols, known as logograms, to communicate with him. EB-1 was able to eat simple foods like bread, fruit, pasta, salads, and cheese but had trouble with meats. Medical doctors and scientists examined him and found that he had only one primary organ that worked as both his heart and lungs, and one organ that acted as both a stomach and intestines. There was no liver, pancreas, or gallbladder found. EB-1 had small glands on his hands, arms, and legs that scientists could not determine the use for. EB-1 was 4 feet 3 inches tall and weighed 60 pounds. His weight never changed, but his height would increase by about 1 inch during winter months. He generated heat in a way that scientists could not determine and wore a tight-fitting one-piece suit made of an elastic material that retained warmth and kept out cold. EB-1 had a constant body temperature of 101 degrees and rarely used a blanket. EB-1 had light red blood with similar cells to red and white blood cells, as well as other unidentified components. He did not require a large amount of fluids and was able to extract what he needed through the breakdown of food. Eating was not a pleasurable activity for EB-1 but a necessity. EB-1 was a calm and considerate being who was sociable despite not understanding human language. He enjoyed touching people and learned the social practice of holding hands. Even as scientists poked and examined him, he remained docile and willing to communicate. EB-1 quickly learned the symbol system and eventually learned English in a simple way. In 1950, EB-1 was moved to a special facility at the Los Alamos National Laboratory and lived with his handler in a 3-room apartment. A device was implanted in EB-1's throat that allowed him to speak English, although in a crude way. EB-1 had various medical problems throughout his life, including a rash and a cough that was related to a food allergy. He was shown the items recovered from the Roswell crash site, and was able to teach scientists how to use the communication and energy devices. A medical kit was also found, containing small injectable tubes that were determined to contain chemical substances for injuries. But scientists were cautious about using them on Ebb-1. There was no rescue mission for Ebb-1, as the only two Eben crafts near Earth had crashed. Ebb-1 reported that they had sent a distress signal to planet Serpo. However, Ebb-1 died in the summer of 1952 after sending 6 unanswered messages to his planet and his body, along with those of his crewmates. Los Alamos scientists figured out how to communicate with the extraterrestrial race they named the Ebens, using a device found in the crashed corona disk. In 1962, an exchange program was arranged that became known as Project Serpo. The plan was to send 12 astronauts to Serpo and leave one Eben in the custody of the U.S. government. The Eben craft was stored in Ohio and later moved to the Nevada test site, where it remains today. The Roswell UFO crash continues to capture the imagination of people all over the world. Despite the government's official explanation, many people believe that there is more to the story than we have been told. Whether you believe that aliens really did crash in Roswell, or that it was just a weather balloon, the Roswell incident remains an important part of our cultural history, and a topic of ongoing fascination and debate.